Then we Cosmic Intervention. Then we Scapeshift, sacrificing many lands, getting most of the lands in the deck.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Obuun Landfall deck and find out what happens when we resolve a Scapeshift. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Obuun Mul Daya Ancestor today. Take a look at this opener. Oh, 2 lands. I just got out of a game where I got heavily color screwed with this deck, so I'm like, I don't want to chance this. I don't want to have another non-game. We're going to mulligan this. That has all the colors of mana we need. Yeah, I like this. This is playable. Keep this one. It has like almost only lands going on. I guess Green Warden helps a little. This says Landfall, so maybe we try to... I was thinking we could try to set up the fetch with it, but I think we just do the fetch now. Get something with some colors. We're going to want red-green, it looks like. Get a Stomping Ground tapped. And we'll pass like that. So today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Sean, and we've seen him play this one on the channel a few times. I've even faced his paper version of the deck a few times as well. It's a deck that he really enjoys, so he sent it in to me to play. And yeah, it's going to be a landfall deck. It's we care about dropping a ton of lands into play, and there's some cute little tricks with it too. So we'll take a read of Obuun. It's 4 mana for a 3/3. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 target land you control becomes an XX elemental with trample and haste. Where X is Obuun's power, it's still a land. Landfall, whenever a land enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So essentially, you pump up Obuun, then make a giant land to go whack things with, and a lot of times you just have giant creatures on board that you attack your opponents to death with. It's pretty straightforward in what it does, but is also fairly effective in what it does, because just being big and having lots of mana, usually an easy way to win a game of Commander. Anyway, there's a Rishkar's Expertise. That's one that I added into the deck because I had a couple open slots because there were 1 or 2 cards that were very expensive and I didn't feel like getting, and I added a little card draw in just because it looked like he was running real light on card draw. So anyway, with that, we I guess we just play the planes right here. We could Life from the Loam for 1. Yeah, maybe I will, actually. We'll just get the Arid Mesa back, because that Arid Mesa with the Volrath Exploration should be halfway decent. Arid Mesa back to hand, pass like that. Basically just ensuring that we're going to hit our land drops, which is always a good thing. Signet. Cycles Ash Barrens. So in the game with us today is Sean, piloting his Volrath the Shapestealer deck. One that I've wanted to take a few more looks at on the channel. I don't think the videos that I've posted on Volrath have really done it justice, and I just think it's a really cool creature with a really interesting ability. It's kind of a subtle ability. It's not like a lot of other Sultai commanders that just blow you away with power, which is probably why I like it. There's a lot of decision-making involved, so I think that's kind of cool. Hopefully he has a good showing for us today. There's a Crucible of Worlds. Well, that's unfortunate. Play the Kessig Wolfrun, play the Volrath Exploration. What does this thing do? Deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control, so spot removal. Not bad. A little overcosted at 4. If this was like a 3-mana instant, it'd be pretty cool. 2-mana instant, even. Helm of the Host for Sean, yep. Just a casual turn 3 Helm of the Host, no big deal. There's Erinis Gloomstalker, one that I have not seen, and it's partnered with, or it's got the background, Dungeon Delver. So this is a 3-mana 3/3 with Death Touch. Whenever it attacks, return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield, choose a background. The background is Dungeon Delver. Commander creatures you own have room abilities of dungeons you own trigger an additional time. Oh, okay, so I think they mentioned they're going to be doing a dungeon thing with this deck. Seems interesting. Seems like it should be cool. And that is Fish Said Fish piloting the Erinis deck. This is a Midnight Clock for D-Manny. That'll start to tick up. No need to dredge. Solidarity of Heroes, we're a little ways away from that. Let's play the Arid Mesa, see what we hit on the Volrath Exploration. We hit Scatter Groves. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh wait, it goes to the graveyard after, right? Well, we need to crack the Arid Mesa, so let's do that. We definitely need more green, so let's get this Taiga. The deck is heavily green with a medium amount of red and like very little white. There's a Momentous Fall. Well, that's disappointing. That's another one that I added in, but at least we have the Rishkar's Expertise. Momentous Fall is a decent card draw option. It's really good, like if someone's about to blow up your big creature anyway, you just sacrifice it to the Momentous Fall, gain a bunch of life, get a bunch of cards. There's our combat trigger. We'll turn the Taiga into a creature, but it'll just revert at the end step. At the end step, 2 cards from Volrath Exploration will go to the graveyard. Sean had a really cool play with this where he scapeshifted and then scapeshifted again. Put like 15 or 16 cards under it, and I happened to be at 14 life. The game crashed before all of that resolved, but he was definitely going to win, which is why you guys haven't seen it. Not the winning part, the crashing part. Sean almost playing an exact copy of the cards he played in his last game. He's got a Helm of Awakening. Spells cost 1 less to cast. A very dangerous card to play. I'm not sure why he's got it in there, but maybe he's got a plan for it. But he did have Helm, and I'm pretty sure he had Shadow Spear in the last game as well. Our final opponent, by the way, is D-Manny piloting Cormela Glamour Thief. He had this one in paper. I think we played it on webcam. Or maybe it was at MTGO? I can't remember now. It does things. It's Grixis Spellslinger, essentially. So we should read it, I guess. It's a 4-mana 2/4 with haste. Pay 1, tap it. Add Grixis to your mana pool. Only spend it on instants and sorceries. When it dies, return up to 1 target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, it's going to be a Spellslinger deck. He really loves Aminatu's Augury. Is a problem when that kind of shows up. And yeah, it just makes a lot of mana for spells. And spells, much harder to interact with than creatures and permanents. So generally one of my least favorite things about this game, about this format, is trying to interact with spell-based decks. And there are ways to do it, but, you know, given the meta that I play in, I don't usually pack stuff to deal with stuff on the stack extensively. And, like, I know I should run more of that, but, you know, it's sort of just like, this is the setting we're in. There tends to be a lot of aggro, a lot of creature decks. Midnight Clock. Opponent played a Wrenn and 7 with the black-white version. Yeah, I don't care for the black-white thing that they did there. But they -3 and make themselves a 5/5 with reach. There's a Muldrifter. Yep. D-Manny getting his card draw going. Got Cormela into play. So he's decently set up to start doing stuff. Oh yeah, that's cool that the lands go to the graveyard with Volrath Exploration, because now we can either Life from the Loam or Crucible of Worlds, all that type stuff. It's a good place to be. Yeah, no, we're not going to dredge. Riveteer's Outlook. Let's play the Crucible of Worlds, play Arid Mesa from the grave, and get this party going. We'll pump up Obuun itself. And there's another Volrath Exploration. Crack the Arid Mesa. Do it all again. Let's get something with some white this time. We'll get the Savannah. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to cast anything else or not. Pump itself again. Oh, there's that. This thing's still in play. Yeah, that's a thing. Do we rock slide this thing? Yeah, let's rock slide this thing just to buy ourselves some time. Having seen this once, we have 2 lands under the Volrath Exploration, which is actually probably ideal, because we have easy ways to get those back. One of them is Skarg the Rage Pits, which is a cool card that I always wish I could run more. Kind of wish it was a Boros card. I get that it's a red-green card, but I just think it's a cool effect. Would be nice to have Trample in more of my decks from a land. Let's just go with this Plains. It does not untap the land, which is a little annoying, but we'll poke D-Manny right here with the Obuun. Insult to Injury after blowing up his commander. But again, I have seen the deck before. I'll probably leave him alone next turn unless he really goes wild with stuff. And Volrath Exploration triggers putting stuff to the graveyard. Wow. Opponent Pongified our land. Don't love that. There will be blood. Volrath the Shapestealer coming in. Helm of the Host and a minus counter. Helm's not attached, though. Gonna minus counter our Obuun, which I don't quite think works the way he wants it to, with a counter on it. Okay, so it just makes it smaller. He can still copy it anytime if he wants to. There are certain times where this card is really cool. Landfall deck's obviously one of them. When you have Sword of Hearthenholm or a Sword of the Animist in play. I've used it as budget card draw in some of my Boros decks, especially the, Boros decks like 6 through 10, where I just don't have a lot of good staples left available, and maybe that's an overstatement. They just don't have like really expensive cards. Don't have a lot of the like $10+ cards in those type decks. Anyway, in those decks, it's very solid. It's not Rhystic Study. You're not just going to win the game on card draw alone with it, but it's going to keep you from getting stuck, and you can kind of just keep churning through your deck and trying to find things that matter while also getting some damage in on your opponents, so all good things. We got a 7/7 coming our way, yeah. Did we block with the 3/3? I think we do. 7/7 is a bit. We don't know. D-Manny's going to have some removal, so like at some point he's going to play a board wipe, and maybe even now, just because he doesn't have his commander in play. So like, I think that block makes sense. Maybe the board wipe's this turn, maybe it's the next turn, maybe it's the turn after that. Tough to say, but eventually there should be one. We do need more ramp, though, after losing our land. That kind of hurt. This would make our Volrath Exploration trigger twice, which is cool. That's a Time Spiral. I am not all that disappointed to see a Time Spiral. This hand is feeling a little funky, because basically we're just going to Rishkar's Expertise, which is going to tap us out anyway. This hand is solid with the Helm. We have a Mana Doubler, a Karamitra, and an extra land drop in this Wayward Sword Tooth. Those are all really good places to be, especially with a Volrath Exploration on board. Dungeon Map, 4 fish. At least it exiles itself. That's cool, right? Much less broken than Time Twister. I guess it untaps 6 lands, though. That part's pretty busted. I'm sure I've mentioned this at least once in a video, if not 10 times or more by now. If I ever got a job at WotC, one of the first things I would do in a set design is make red and white cards with the untap lands mechanic. And not a lot of them, maybe like 1 or 2 good ones, like a white board wipe could be a thing. Not sure what I would do with the red one yet, but doing things for free is really powerful. I would love to balance out some of those cycles too, like I'd like to print the red land, like Gaia's Cradle, like Sarah Sanctum, that red never got. Kind of finishing out stuff like that, you know, probably should have been addressed at some point. Skyclave Relic. After a Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, getting all the ramp going over there. They're going to have some mana. I'm sad I don't think we'll be able to get the Karamitra this turn. Is this all forest? Whenever you tap a forest. We have 1 forest, 2 forest, 3 forest. That's pretty good. There's a plains. Play a forest. See what we get with the Volrath Exploration. Keep pumping our commander. For some reason, our commander didn't untap. I don't know why that is. Dungeon room, maybe? Must have been a dungeon effect or something. Oh, tie up. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. There you go. That's why it didn't untap. Then we're going to try to cast this Nissa. We have a forest under the Volrath Exploration. We're going to cast the Wayward Swordtooth. It's cost reduced, so we can get it in. Can we play the land off Volrath with it? Yes. Yes, we can. So we'll play the land off Volrath, triggering the Volrath once again. Putting another counter on our commander. This time hitting Crackle with power, not the one you want to hit. What does this thing do? Double mana, put 3 counters on a target non-creature land you control. Untap it, it becomes a creature land. Okay. That has haste and is still a land. And emblem with lands have indestructible. Search. Oh, yeah, that one's ridiculous. Well, we'll start taking this thing up. Let's go with, guess, just the forest. If we untap Savannah, I think we can get Karamitra in. Yep, cast Karamitra. Yeah, we're having a turn. Helm of Awakening. Dangerous card. Really speeding us up. Obuun trigger. Put it on that one, I guess. It's a 9/9. Sadly, it can't attack. Volrath Exploration. Putting it to the graveyard. Midnight clock ticking up. Depending on what we draw, we might need to think about Volrath Awakening this turn, because we have a lot of lands in hand. I guess we can play 2 lands, but even still, try to find our way to another card draw spell. Nadir Kraken coming in. Yep. Been seeing this one a bit lately. Equips the Shadow Spear to the Volrath. Yep. It's an 8/6 with lifelink and trample. And Helm is still not attached, but they can put a minus counter on something. They minus our Karamitra. That's not a bad idea. So he can copy it next turn if he wants and get himself all the value if he's got creatures, or, you know, make his commander indestructible at a moment's notice. He is tapped out right now, but swings into Fish. Fish has other plans. The Pongify came back. They're going to Pongify the commander. That would be the situation where you want that extra mana up to turn it into a Karamitra, because then it would have survived. But instead they find themselves with an Ape and have to recast their commander at some point. Ren and 7? Yeah, definitely want to get that out of play if we can. Gonna venture into the dungeon with the dungeon map. They scry twice. This thing's getting big. They have 11 lands? How do they have 11 lands? We don't even have 11 lands. We're a landfall deck. Return... Huh. Very confused. Fish must have played something big before that time spiral. Did I zone out or something? Why don't I remember Fish ramping like crazy? Yeah, Fish is on 11 lands on turn 6. I have no idea how. They make 2 treasure tokens into the next dungeon room. And the Lost Mine of Phandelver. The minus 4/0 until next turn twice is actually, like, pretty good damage reduction. Will slow us down. 3/3 into Nissa. 11/11 into Nissa. Well, we block the 11/11 and Nissa will just tick down. That's fine. They're basically just keeping it off the ultimate, which is fine. Would I love to get to it? Yes, but I mean, that's still 3 turns away with no interaction at all. Glasspool Mimic, what are we copying? It's another 11/11. Eesh. We'll see if D-Manny's got the board wipe. Again, he has no creatures in play, so if he has one, he loses nothing by playing one. So I'm sure we would see it. There's a commit. They're going to commit Nissa back to the top of our deck. There are worse things than that. I mean, I guess it's annoying in that, like, it messes our card draw up, and we kind of need to draw cards, but... D-Manny hits Midnight Clock. It cracks. He goes up to 8 cards. Now did he find the board wipe? It's a Chromatic Orrery. It's a magic card. I need to get one of these for, Ashling. Probably also my Sisay deck. Sisay can manage without it, but they're like $15 or something. Ugh. Ashling needs all the mana production it can get. I've kind of got like a Voltaic key thing going on with Ashling right now. Manifold key, where you untap your artifacts to produce all the mana. That's an Archon of Cruelty. Don't love those. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, discards a card, loses 3 life, you draw a card, gain a card. Makes Fish sacrifice something. They sacrifice their commander. That Archon is a giant problem, though. Burning Inquiry. We'll see how this goes. Oh, he hit the Volrath Awakening. Now here he's lithoforming. Yeah, maybe we're doing that. Sacrifice X lands. For each land sacrifice this way, draw a card. You may play X additional lands this turn. Lands enter the battlefield tapped. I mean, at the very least, that'll trigger Volrath Exploration a lot. There's the Blasphemous Act. Yep. Back to the command zone. There's a Beanstalk Giant. Beanstalk Giant, in theory, triggers Karamitra. Let's play the Savannah from our yard. See what we hit with the Volrath Exploration. We hit Bow of Nylea. I think I'd like to get that in. Helm is still here, which is good. Play the Nissa. Play the Bow for double green. Cast Fertile Footsteps. Also for double green. Get a Forest. We get Heroic Intervention. Not super helpful right there. We can get a little bit more mana if we... What do we do with that mana, though? We don't have... Kind of running out of things to do, which is unfortunate. We can take down Fish's Planeswalker is what we can do. We'll send this thing into Fish's Planeswalker. Ren in 6. Down it goes. Into our second main, we can just, like, put a counter on something. We can just sit there with the Bow. Seems reasonable. Volrath Exploration. We'll put the... Yeah, I guess we can just shuffle that stuff back into the deck. Seems like a plan. That's the one thing I don't like about this deck when you're turning lands into creatures and board wipes happen. You're losing lands also. Now, you have ways to recover them in green, but still a little frustrating. It's turn 7, and we have 7 lands in play, even though we've ramped a little, but we've also lost a few, so there is all of that. Soul Ring, for free. Ronas Monument, good card. I need to run that a little bit more than I do high creature count decks. It's really good. Even if you're not playing green at all. 2/2 and trample. Yeah, I probably just need to put that in my Aurelia Exemplar deck. Basically a deck that cares about trample. Although that deck, you know, it'll play like 2 or 3 good creatures. You're not necessarily playing like a ton of creatures in one turn, but still, even just 2/2 and trample is a good place to be. Gyruda. See what this hits. Gets himself a Yanti Malson. Can't be blocked as long as it's attacking alone. Deals combat damage to a player venture into the dungeon. Nice. They get our single combat into the grave, which might have been helpful to have that. Harmonize would have also been some really good card draw. And I think that was the next card. Yeah, that hurts a little bit. That hurts a little bit. Might have to think about this Nahiri's lithoforming. I've never played this card. It's an interesting card. I think with the mana doubler out, I think it does get pretty interesting. But Shadow Spear on the Gyruda. You can get Tyrite Sanctum and turn our things indestructible, which might be good. You can also Fabled Passage, which is 2 more land triggers. Fish has a lot of nothing happening. They have 1 card in hand. I guess they can venture into the dungeon. They'll probably recast their commander and venture, unless they found something really cool off the top. There's their commander. Check this deck for like Eternal Witness type stuff. There's a Balaged Recovery that I know about. Oh, right, it'd be over here. This is target card. That's any card. Okay. At a quick search, it looks like just the one thing gets like spells back from the graveyard. So with that, I'll probably reshuffle everything back in with the Bow. Fish ventures into the dungeon, and that triggers twice. I didn't see what room they were. Yeah, I think they completed the dungeon on that one. Must have been some card draw or something, because they're up to 2 cards now. Let's see what D-Man he's got. He's got a lot of extra mana this turn. 1, the cost reduction, and 2, a Chromatic Orrery. So his colors also don't matter, plus a lot of mana rocks. Frantic Search, yep, and there's the free card. Memory. That's not bad, actually, because our hand is once again very thin. Very, very thin. It is bad in the sense that he has a lot of open mana. He's going to get 7 fresh cards. We get a lot of lands. Cultivate. We're going to need this Volrath Exploration to keep doing work for us. We do have a Bonder's Enclave that can get us an additional card draw, which I think we're going to need. Saheeli, Sublime Artificer in. Yep. If you cast a non-creature spell, make a servo. Yeah, that's a thing. There's a Beside You that's going to destroy target artifact or enchantment. What did that hit? I'm confused. Oh, he shot the Helm of the... Wait. Fish used the Beside You to shoot Sean's Helm of the Host. It's a reasonable play. Helm of the Host gets pretty wild. Another Frantic Search. God, the free cards. So frustrating. Ugh. There's the Grey Merchant. At least our life total's still pretty high. Down to 33. There's a Resculpt. Exile target creature. That's going to be the Gyruda. We're just going to... We put in a counter, gaining some life. I think we're just going to gain some life. Suppose we could get our... it has to be a creature, I guess. Yeah, it needs to be a creature. If this gets back to a creature, we could theoretically remove the minus counter on it. Debt to Kami, target opponent exiles an enchantment they control. That's going to be the Bow. We need that Volrath Exploration. Oh, Windfall. He's down to 2 mana, though. This hand is like, it's fine. I think we can do better. This hand, there's the Scape Shift. This hand is much, much better. With the Cosmic Intervention, oh, man. Please let us untap. Please, please let us untap. This will be sweet. Here's a Keeper of the Accord. Okay, we need to stay calm. Everyone stay calm. There's potentially counterspell mana up over there, which is not great. We have Rishkar, so we don't need the Bonder's Enclave. Let's get the Field of the Dead just in case. Actually, is there a forest? No, the forest makes double. Get the forest. Oh, wait. Should I have waited till Morag was in? Probably should have waited till Morag was in. Volakut trigger. Yeah, D-Manny's holding up priority, which means there is probably a counterspell. Morag would probably eat the counterspell, so I think we try that. Definitely already messed the sequence up already, though. See if he wants to counter this. There's a Karamitra. Use the ability. Just get a Plains in there, I guess, because we probably can't get to it. Volakut Exploration. He let it go. That's annoying. How do we bait out the counterspell? Maybe with the Rishkar's expertise? We can turn this into a creature and untap it. Seems like a play. We'll do this one instead, which will give us more mana. Yep, he's still holding up priority. Let's try the Rishkars. Lets it go. I don't know if he has the counter. What are we dropping in for free? Cosmic Intervention? Yeah, just cast the Cosmic Intervention, I think. We'll just check this thing real quick. Any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, that's also ridiculous. That would get us a lot of triggers, particularly a lot of combat triggers if we wait till the second main. We have 1, 2, 3 lands in hand, it looks like. That gives us a backup plan. I think I like that. Cast this. We have 1 floating mana. How's this read? Untap all creatures you control. Perfect. So we can, in theory, tap them for mana right now. So let's tap that. Get a sword. Oh, the sword is cost reduced. Get a Roaring Earth. Equip a sword to the Karamitra. Seems like a play. Go to combat. Send this first one into fish, just because they can't block. Morag adds its power bonus. Static effect. Sword of Hearth and Home. Do we blink? I don't think we want to blink anything. Get a forest since it'll make double. Volakut Exploration. We can pump something up. Let's pump this land up so we can actually attack with it. Another land under Volakut. 3 lands under Volakut. Then, now that we're in main phase 2, we put any number of lands from our hand onto the battlefield tapped. Oh, this is going to be ridiculous. Drop in Scarg the Rage Pits, Riveteer's Outlook, and a Mountain. Trigger Morag a bunch of times. Trigger Volakut Exploration a bunch of times. Trigger Roaring Earth a bunch of times. Start pumping this thing up. Pump this one up a little too. This does put it in tapped, unfortunately. We'll get a Mountain right here, which does create another Landfall trigger. Oh my god, it's freaking out. Oh, we're totally going to crash the game. This deck is definitely going to crash the game. Pump this one up. Auto these triggers. Just all the lands under Volakut Exploration. Graveyard from the battlefield. They would be going in from exile, I think, so I don't think that works quite the way we want it to. And there's these things. Wait, did they not untap? Oh, they untap at the combat step, I think. Back to combat? Untap all creatures you control. Perfect. Send these 2 into D-Manny. And this one into Fish. Fish is going to block. That's fine. Does mark damage on the land, which is actually a little bit scary, but... yeah, they're going to throw a servo in front of 1. Oh no, they killed our land. How'd they kill our land? Oh, does that have Death Touch? It has Death Touch. Ah. Yeah, we probably needed that mana. Hopefully that doesn't bite us. Do it again! Definitely going to go into Fish with the thing this time, just because... need to get a few more lands just so we can get that Volakut Scapeshift play. I think we're out of white mana. That's not good. They block. Sword of Hearth and Home. Hope there's a Plains left. There is. Ha ha ha. Get a Plains. Volakut. Roaring Earth. Pump this thing up. Do it again. Send this one into Fish because we need the mana. And this one back into D-Manny. Blocks with the Grey Merchant. Fish goes down. Hearth and Home. Get a forest this time. Volakut Exploration. Really stacking up those Volakut Exploration triggers. Keep pumping this land since it is a little fragile. I'm not sure how many more combats we have. At least 1 more. Back to combat. Into D-Manny. They keep getting bigger every time with Morag, too. That's a thing. Blocks both. Oh, no, it went to the end step. Why did it go straight to the end step? Oh, I was gonna Scape Shift. Oh, no. Oh, wait, do you not get another main phase with this thing? Oh, yeah, I think there's no additional main phase afterwards. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't have any of our red mana up, which is a little frustrating, but at least we have a Cosmic Intervention up. D-Manny goes down to 13 after the Volakut Exploration triggers. Memory Deluge. Look at the top X of your library, where X is the amount of mana spent. Put 2 of them in your hand, rest in the bottom. Okay. 3 visits. Volrath into Ronas. I'm just not sure that we get an untap with whatever D-Manny's got. That's a 6/6 with trample. Nothing to sneeze at. Journey to Eternity, yeah. There's a magic card. Shadow Spear. Minus counter. Mirage. 7/7 coming our way. It's straight to the face. I think we'll just take that. Not interested in any shenanigans that might be happening. Sean's at 23. We're at 30. Cruelty of Gix. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker from it. They discard that card. They will be sad if they choose us, so they can read ahead, which they'll probably do here. I imagine they're searching their library for a card. Either their win condition or a board wipe or something. Yeah, they're going to search for a card. Problem we have now is Cyclonic Rift. I guess we need to leave enough mana up to Comet Storm, and then we can try to force it through that way. He's really into Think Tank here. I mean, obviously he's got to be very careful with this turn. Not sure what he's got up his sleeve. Sure we'll find out soon. Burning Rune Demon. More tutors. 2 tutors is bad. This is probably one of those, like, doesn't matter which one we choose type situations. What's interesting is he never recast his commander after we blowed up that one time. Now, there's been plenty of things going on, so he doesn't necessarily need to, but he's ramped a lot otherwise. And I mean, the commander is essentially just ramping this. I guess it returns stuff too, and the graveyards have been wheeled back into the deck several times. So getting what you want into the graveyard, not the easiest thing. He's still searching. I just told Sean. He said he's enjoying my Roaring Earth tweak. And it said, the hills are alive with the sound of combats. Liliana Death's Majesty or Displacer Kitten. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent you don't control, then return it to the owner's battlefield. I don't feel great about that. Return a creature would bring back probably Grey Merchant. Could be bad if they... Well, with this he can just ETB. Whenever you cast a... Okay, I think Death's Majesty makes him jump through more hoops. There comes the Death's Majesty. Also uses a little bit more mana. Turning, oh, right, yep, no, just returns the Displacer Kitten. And non-land permanent, oh, you control. Okay, that's still pretty disgusting. Muldrifter evoked. 2 mana left, okay. Okay, maybe we're gonna get to do this big thing here. Draws 2 cards, we gonna blink it with something? No, lets it go. Viscera Seer, 1 mana left. Could have free counters, I don't know if he's running any. Ladies and gentlemen, we just made it back to our turn. I mean, mostly gentlemen, like 99.2% gentlemen is what the statistics for this channel say. Let's double check all these abilities first. That blink stuff doesn't have death touch. That's relevant. Got some blocky boys over there. That would just die and bring that back. Mirage is an attacker this turn, but dies the stuff. Make another land an attacker. Go to combat. Send this thing into D-Manny and that thing into D-Manny. Blocks both with tokens, that's fine. We're just trying to get to our second main here so we can set up our master plan of this Cosmic Intervention Scape Shift, which should be ridiculous. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so those go down, he scries. Then we Cosmic Intervention. Then we Scape Shift. Oh, wait. Oh. Supposed to tap all our mana first, aren't we? That we are. We can keep that one. We should probably play this one first too, right? Play this one. All the stuff triggers. Pump this land. Mirage. Valakut. Find a land. Get a mountain. Running low on basics. Trigger all the stuff again. Feast Famines under there, Jesus. We already played the Cosmic Intervention, right? Yes, we did. Okay. Then we play the Scape Shift. Sacrificing many lands. Getting most of the lands in the deck. Let's get this Tyrite Sanctum. No, I'm not going to pay the life. We did it. We did it. Oh, God. This is going to take forever to resolve. Let's make this Mirage giant. D-Manny was hoping his Muldrifter would find him a cheap non-creature so we could use the Displacer Kitten to untap his Chromatic Orrery. That's like 10 Mirage triggers, give or take. I don't even want the combat so much as I just want to kill them with Valakut Exploration. There's Broker's Hideout, somewhere in the mess of all this stuff going off. Which means we gotta resolve more triggers. Last basic, trigger the stuff. Many cards going under Valakut Exploration. This Mirage is gonna be so big. There's so many combats. And I don't even want to kill them with the combats. I want to kill them with the Valakut Exploration. I might just skip through all the combats to watch the Volrath exploration kill them. Although, actually, it probably doesn't kill Sean. That's not 23 right there. Oh, it crashed. Yeah, that's what happens when you Volrath Scape Shift. That's twice that's happened now. That is unfortunate. I think we had it, though. I think it was safe to say we had it. So, yeah. Scape Shift plus Volrath Exploration is a really good time. Sean was able to pull it off in another game that crashed very similarly like this did. It was going to be even more awesome because we had that Cosmic Intervention to then bring all the lands back and then get all the Volrath Exploration triggers again. Absolute ridiculousness. As far as tweaks to the deck, I do think the deck needs a little more card draw. I had a Rishkar's Expertise and a Momentous Fall just because they were the first two cards I thought of. But yeah, I would add more of these like Power Matters, card draw type things, get a few of those in there. That'll really kind of smooth things out. I'd probably reduce the land count just a little bit. I might go to like 40, probably be about right. Because we wheeled like, what, 2 or 3 times in that game, and a couple times we just land flooded. We had nothing going on. So that was going to be kind of rough. I wouldn't mind an extra piece of removal in here. In the first game I tried with it, there was just no removal to be seen. I think there's about 3 board wipes. I'd probably go to a 4th or maybe like a comeuppance, which I usually count as like a half of one. Maybe a Settle the Wreckage, something like that. Keep yourself safe. Oh, also, I did tell him about this. I changed his mana base before the game. So he had a lot more plains and a lot more mountains initially, probably about 6 of each. And really, you just want all that to be forests. So getting the color balance right, I think, is a big deal. Because I was definitely color screwed in the first game. But, yeah, we got to see the thing right there. That was pretty wild. Kind of dominated the game. I mean, it's a Landfall deck. I guess that's what Landfall decks do. Didn't see as much from our opponents as I had hoped, although I always get nervous when D-Man is playing Spellslinger or Grixis or anything like that, so that's a thing. But Fish's Venture deck probably needed a little bit more to get going. Sean's deck probably needed a little more time to get going. And yeah, I mean, the Helm of Awakening sped us up so much, too. So that just made things so much easier. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have one new Patreon supporter in Tim Riley. Tim, you are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.